It's the Solly One Sci-Fi Podcast.
Hello there, this is it's episode 122 of the Solo One Sci-Fi Podcast. I wasn't going to give the number, but I decided in the end I would. This is Michael Ball. We're back after a very long break, all done by me because of all sorts of stuff, moving house. I am joined by the miracle of science fiction knowledge, the man who puts so much into space, the universe and everything, and he knows a thing or two about cult TV. It is my good friend Martin Fowler. Hello Martin, by the gods of science fiction, how are you?
And I'm alright, go Clud.
Thank you. It's been a long time, isn't it? What's been up?
I'm quite shocked at how you presented that, actually.
Was it
I'm quite hurt, actually. I was expecting
a bigger build-up?
Emotion and like what we do is because we're back, we'd have a moment's silence.
Okay.
Right, let's get on with it.
It might not work on the audio though. If you hit dead air for about 10 minutes, it's a mega silence. Hello, Martin. It's nice to see you.
Yes, and you, my friend. It's been a while, and
it's been a while. I've now
missed
moved
doing
to a new
this
house, and it's been chaos, but we're finally settling in now. We've been here a month today, which is quite good. Since we were last, we did the Doctor Who, the Power of the Doctor episode, which we both really enjoyed, and I still think it's a very solid episode. Since then, a series which I think it started before Doctor Who, and I watched some. And Martin, I said to Martin, "You're going to try this out," and it is a series which I really, I've been completely thrown by after all the other Star Wars TV series we've seen so far, and that's Star Wars Andor, which literally just finished its episode 12, the last episode of season 1 last week. And this is a series where a lot of people have really liked it. They've really been blown away by it. And it's a series which I've been thrown so much by the whole thing. It is not like any other Star Wars project or series I've ever seen. So we will talk about some sci-fi news later on, but let's first of all just go into our main topic this week. So Martin, you just finished it, so let's get your perspective first. What did you think about it? How did it come across to you?
I'll put a question to you. Would you follow him into battle?
What, Andor?
Yeah.
No, I don't know if I would.
Because he's an idiot.
Now, why is that? Why do you think he's an idiot?
Because look, right. This series, I have honestly, it's been like, we have the moment of kicking the coffee table up in the air. You know that moment,
which is what you thought Doctor Who was going to be in the last episode.
Yeah, all right. I was wrong on that. Right.
Okay.
I totally accept that. I was blown away by Doctor Who.
Me too.
I love and hate Andor. I absolutely love and detest this series.
Yeah, I'm right in both sides. It's like they come together at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like. So, what is it you like about it? What do you not like about it? Tell me what.
Right, I think he's an idiot. Right.
Okay.
And they're trying to build him into this great rebel leader, and he's got no gravitas as a leader.
No.
He killed 2 pointless security guards on a planet that were both corrupt, and then this whole series of events started. And I don't even think they connected. He robbed that Imperial payroll, Yeah. And he was getting his reputation for what? So you got an obsessive failure who couldn't join the Imperials, ended up as a pound shop security guard like figure who had big ambitions that wanted to. His boss said to him, he said, "Just leave it. They were both corrupt. They'll have had a dispute. Somebody killed them. Right? That was it. Leave it. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. We had to get the jobs worth." And his ego and all this, and he did this operation, and then Stellan Skarsgård now follow him into battle. He had gravitas, the character,
Yeah.
access, the rebel dude, he was trying to unify the whole movement because they were all different cells across the galaxy. If he brings them together, you form a military. I get that. That interested me. And then you've got this idiot Andor running about everywhere, just running about, having emotional dramas, right? And then ended up in a prison, which we all knew were building the fucking Death Star, right?
Death Star, yeah.
Right, it was obvious.
That was obvious. Yes, it was obvious.
Right, he ended up in there for just being stood on a street corner, right? And he got 6 years, right? And he couldn't handle it. Why, right? Now this guy helped these people on that planet, robbed that Imperial thing, and there was that guy who was an idealist. He died, and he believed in him, right, and all that. I couldn't do with that, right? And he recorded things for him, and then it's him running about everywhere, right? And that was it. Just him everywhere. He was just fucking everywhere, running about. He was annoying me, right? Right. Now, what was interesting? I hated that security guard, the pound.
Wasn't he annoying? The one that
the pound shop security guy, dude.
What the hell was that? Why did we focus so much on that?
Why was he in this?
I don't know what. Because he was quite back
with
to
his mother.
What the? I couldn't care less about his character. Why was he so prominent in the series?
Mister, you're not good enough to join the Imperial Forces because you're a dickhead. So you end up working for corporate security, and they tell him, look, you know, you've got no destiny here. Just do your job, and we won't get any interference, and we'll all get through. Oh no! And then he finds another version of him, and they lead this squad. They all get massacred by this guy who I think's a Jedi.
Oh, do you?
I think he's some kind of Jedi. He's not.
Oh, they're not. So apparently, they're not going to be featuring any of that in this.
All right. Well, he's very good at what he does, and I will go into the most powerful moment in this series. Right. Meanwhile, he's running about everywhere. All he does is run about everywhere. That's all he did, was just run everywhere now.
Well, Andor, I mean, yeah.
Andor.
Yeah.
I'm glad he got it in Rogue
But
One.
why was he so prominent in the first episode when he killed those 2 security guards? Why was it the basis?
Yeah, but that's when it all started. If he hadn't killed them 2 security guards, we would have never have got this series, and we'd have all carried on with our lives.
I didn't quite understand all. I mean,
but there was him, that pointless.
I think his name is the character's called Cyril Khan, apparently.
Yeah, well,
the guy that went back to his mum.
Living with his mother, and his mother was horrible. She was horrible. Sat there every day eating cornflakes every day.
With the blue milk. Don't forget the blue milk.
With the blue milk.
Yeah.
Just eating it and prodding it, and she was just putting him down and humiliating him. Going, you're a failure. You've always been a failure. Yeah. And I'm sat there, I'm thinking, what has this got to do with this idiot? It's running about everywhere.
Yeah.
Just running about, just everywhere, right? And he's going to become this great rebel leader. Thank fuck he dies in Rogue One, right? And who had no inspiration about him whatsoever. And then we're going back to him, me and his bits, and then he gets the job.
Yeah.
Some uncle gets him a job in a chair looking at monitors all day, and then he starts contacting the ISB, the Imperial Security Bureau. Now that's where it became interesting for me.
Yeah, they didn't even feature for the first 3 episodes.
This is where it starts.
The first 3 episodes, they weren't even in it. It wasn't anybody from the Imperials.
But when you started going into the politics in the background with Mon Mothma, I loved her, that officer in the ISB.
Yeah,
I loved
she was
her.
good.
She was awesome.
What was her character called again? Dedra Nero.
I loved the whole organisation.
What did you think of Luthen, the actual the guy that was trying to sort of get the rebellion going? With I thought he was in Chernobyl. The actor Stellan Skarsgård.
I thought
he was good. I thought he was.
You know, the most powerful moment in this series that had me gripped.
What was that?
Was when he met that ISB officer on Coruscant.
Oh yeah, okay.
And he stood there and he said, "Look, I've got to let 50 people die because if I don't let these 50 people die, your position is going to be found out.
Yeah.
And he said, well, what? I said, I've got to have kids, I'm sacrificed. And he said to him, you don't know what I've sacrificed. I've sacrificed like everything. I put my everything of who I am to get this thing off the ground.
Yeah.
At the level, I mean, this guy was a patriot to the cause. He'll die for it, and he'll send you to die for it. You know, because he saw the big picture. You know what I mean? And that was the most powerful moment in this thing. Meanwhile, in the background, the idiot's running around, and then we got him in for 3 or 4 episodes in a prison. And that was just how we're getting.
Mind you, Moxie was there from Alvida saying.
Yeah, he was. Moxie was there.
Yeah, Christopher Fairbank. I like seeing him there.
Yeah,
He's in everything, that guy, isn't he? It was nice seeing him.
Yeah, Moxie
You know,
and Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just terrible. That I thought, all right, possibly 1.5 episode of him in there, and then he had his moments to inspire everybody.
It was too stretched out by far.
Yeah, it were all over the place in parts, but the best
could have
part...
been 6-parter, I think, or maybe 8 at a push. Yep. And I think there was about 4 episodes of filler. Now, I was saying this to people.
But there were characters in this there were no need for. There were no need. There were him failed that mission. He failed that mission. All that were his fault because he had no experience. He was an idiot. Yet his own arrogance and his mother putting him down. There were all this. And then and then we got to the final episode with big shootout, and him and his idiot mate turn up because they're obsessed with this Cassian Andor. Cassian Andor.
I still don't understand that. I don't understand it.
This is why I've got a problem with it because, because he was the one nobody knows who bloody Cassian Andor. He's too busy running about.
But he was nobody at the time, wasn't he, when he started?
That's what I mean. 2 pointless security guards that were corrupt.
Yeah.
He killed them.
Yeah.
On a planet like that, it was so dodgy. The head police guy said, "Leave it alone."
Yeah.
Somebody killed him, leave it, but he wouldn't accept it. And then the whole series is him because he failed in his mission. Yet when he did that mission, he was shitting himself.
I know.
Through the entire thing. He created the whole situation. And then he kept contacting her. Now, I did become interested between him and that Dedra, that connection.
Yeah.
That's when his character slightly changed. But the thing with him and his mother were just, all that were just pointless. It was just, honestly.
I was most of the episodes when they finished, I gave it a big long sigh. I'm thinking, oh, is that it? I mean, the thing is with Star Wars, and this is the difference between Star Trek, I actually think this may have worked better if it had been a Star Trek series, something to do with something internal with the Federation or something. Star Wars is, to me, it's a mix, or it's more of a roller coaster ride. It does get things wrong, but Star Wars is normally very fast paced. It throws things at you. It's very visual. It's very, and The Mandalorian's a prime example of real adventure, real fast paced stuff. Yeah, all right, Kenobi wasn't perfect, but I still think it had its moments. It felt like Star Wars.
Kenobi got payoff at the end of the season, didn't it?
It did, and it worked in the end.
Boba
Fett was all right. Boba Fett was more like Mandalorian season 2.5, but I'm still okay with that. This series, to me, it felt like it was a different series altogether, but with featuring stormtroopers and for some reason the Empire's involved. It felt more like watching something like The Expanse, although not as good as The Expanse. Or even they even had sort of like parallels with Logan's Run in the early episodes. To me, it just didn't feel quite right for Star Wars, and a lot of people love this series. They really do. They're comparing it, saying it's the best thing that's ever been made. Star Wars Theory was pretty against it, which I actually respected him for.
I saw that.
I was surprised about his reaction. He just said it was just so slow, and he said it was more like a generic other science fiction series. It wasn't Star Wars. I don't know what it is. What makes Star Wars Star Wars? And this is the thing about these like Doctor Who, Star Trek, Star Wars. When it is that, it's hard to explain, but when it's there, it's there. The last episode of Doctor Who, that was Doctor Who. That was really good. Star Trek Strange New World, that's Star Trek. This, to me, and it's a good production. I really think it's really well done.
Look.
But I can't quite.
Right, there was something that did not work in this series.
Yeah.
Now, right. Let's just go back to like a prequel to this. Right, Solo was set in the sort of same thing. The movie.
Yes, it was.
Like they went to Corellia, the Imperials run the planet, they treat people like crap.
Yeah.
And there's no, if you go to court, there's no defence. You go to them places. They're taxing everybody to death to feed the war machine. Look, Star Wars is not a bright, colourful, beautiful universe. It's a dark, insidious place.
Yeah, that's part of it. What it's about.
It's run by an emperor that is just evil. There's
Yeah.
no
fine line. That is just what it is.
Redemption in that character,
exactly.
Palpatine, right? And he thinks he's doing everybody in the galaxy to him is the plaything. That's what they are. He don't give a toss about bureaucracy and all that. He just wants power, and yet you're seeing his power, and he's got loads of minions that are all screwing each other over to get promoted, and just don't get promoted under Vader, because you know what happens.
Yes,
there.
exactly. You get the Force choke and you're dead.
Yeah, but there's these like secret police, like the Gestapo, the ISB, that deal with threats internally. Sedition, all that works wonderfully. Then we jumped into the politics. This like Solo, Rogue One. You're getting to see the reality of the Star Wars universe, and anything.
But that's
like
good.
That
is good. A lot of that.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
that was
the strength
great.
of it.
That is the strength. That was the strength.
I agree entirely, but it doesn't quite gel.
It didn't work.
It doesn't quite gel. But that's what's so weird about this is because the Imperial stuff, when it started to show up in Episode 4. And it really built up. I have to say, the last episode with Andor's mum's funeral, and how that was started to show unrest.
Yeah, but she did his
that was
job
good.
For him.
That was
good.
good.
She did his job for him, didn't she?
Yeah.
He should have done that. He was the one that was meant to be.
But he was just sort of skulking in the background and hiding behind windows and stuff.
So unless his mother's inspired him in the next series, he's like
it could be. It could have
maybe it were written this way for it to be like that. He's quite a selfish person, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. But it's kind of like in Rogue One. But Rogue One wasn't really about Andor, Cassian Andor. He was in it. He was just part of it. It wasn't like a standout character like Luke Skywalker or something.
Yeah.
He was more part of the film, but not one of the main focuses. It's really hard. I mean, first of all,
like anything to see a world and see the politics of the Empire.
Yeah.
How departments work, from stormtroopers to administration, to officers.
Yeah.
And like, you remember that scene in The Mandalorian when they're in that Imperial base and he meets that commander guy, and he's an obsessive with the Imperial thing. He's such a believer.
Yeah. The wonderful scene you mean when
the Empire is full of people
for
like
the Empire,
that.
and he's having a drink and everything.
Anything like that, I'm interested. Even knowing about a stormtrooper's private life. Anything, you know. And I was sat there through
that
this.
Was really good.
He's running about. I like the thing with Mon Mothma with the dodgy chauffeur driver,
yes.
and that dodgy husband of hers, because something's coming. He's going to betray her.
Yeah, you can see it's all growing up.
Her sister, who's in the Rebel Alliance, who was on that planet, and there were things in here that worked rather well, but it's him. He was just like, when you went onto him, you didn't have a clue where you were going. You know,
I agree.
When you got onto like Deirdre in ISB and all these other like commanders. I mean, I like the head of the ISB, that old fellow with the hair, who were cold and ruthless.
Yeah.
He were amazing. This cold, cynical organisation. All this wonderful, and then we get Cyril, the security guard, whose mother's berating him. Every day. Every day. Sat in his job.
I don't know.
Doing logistics or whatever. Right.
Well, I think he's going to be in the. I think he'll join the ISP in season 2.
Well, why didn't he join that in the fucking first place? Because he wasn't good enough. That's why.
Well,
Why he thought he was a security guard on this planet, and he said, "Look at me, I've got a laser gun, and I can tell people what to do." And he tried it, and he screwed up, and his boss told him.
Yeah.
He said, "Don't come here with that attitude, like you're going to be some about the Lord and all that. Turn a blind eye. They're both corrupt." You know what I mean? Andor was justified in killing them both. That I agree with that.
Right.
And I didn't mind that first episode. It was by episode 3 when I started to realise what is going on with this guy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I agree.
and that moment of inspiration in final episode, that should have been him doing that. Do you know what I mean? There should have been a moment where it's like his mother had been killed, something that burns in him to destroy these people. But her speech was incredible. It was. She said there's an evil in this galaxy and it's poisoning all of us, and we should have woke up to it. You know,
I have to ask
that
then,
is acceptable.
Do you think that one of the problems with this series was its length?
Yeah.
12
12
I do.
episodes.
I think that's actually
12.
half
For
the
a minor character like him, who got it in Rogue One. I said this when we last did this. I said, his character to me, his character's not important enough. There ain't enough there to... Could you connect with him? Could you...
No,
could you
I mean, I don't.
not all.
I'm quite indifferent to... You talk about Andor, you talk about?
Yeah, Andor, could you connect with him?
I personally think that his character is okay. I think his character was fine in Rogue One.
Oh, yeah, but all right.
It's weird. I mean, with this series, it isn't. Although it focuses a lot on him, it's showing other elements from Rogue One. Mon Mothma was in Rogue One briefly, and so was what's the Forrest Whitaker's character? I can't remember his name.
Oh, I forgot the terrorist.
Sal or something. I can't remember his name. He was also in it. Like,
He was good. But he didn't do much in this, did he?
I think the problem is that basically, I mean, most episodes were longer, about 45, 50 minutes. And you remember the Mandalorian episodes were so short, but those episodes, although they were too short,
yeah, but they got longer
they were
every
good.
time, didn't they? By like episode 4, you were on episode. They were like 50 minutes long. They started like that, didn't they?
Yeah. But
You know,
what I'm saying is that I think that the pacing to me, like I said, most episodes, the Mandalorian, even Kenobi, I was like, whoa. And there was a lot. I didn't have any wow. And also, can we have some more ships, please? The whole point of Star Wars to me is a lot of it's to do with is the ships, the big grandiose. I thought we were going to be seeing TIE fighters and Star Destroyers all the time, and lots of proper machinery. We hardly saw anything.
that don't bother me.
Oh, that bothers me because
I thought, I agree. We needed some Star Destroyers, but I like to see life on a planet that's dominated by an Imperial.
Yeah,
thing. And I'm very fascinated by what they're doing to the people.
But the first
of the
episodes, we
galaxy.
didn't see even an imperial presence. We just saw Andor as this guy, and apparently he was a kid who was like in this race who.
Yeah, they got wiped out. Yeah, a survivor of a race. There was some accident that killed them all. They
And
were
also
like
another thing. We hardly saw any aliens. We hardly saw any where were the astro droids? Where were the aliens? Where are all the
we got Bob the robot. I mean, we got.
I
Bob
didn't
the
mind the
robot.
robot. I didn't. I mean, it's a new robot, I suppose. I think that robot, some of it's going to end up in K2SO in season 2. I think somehow
we did see K2SO.
We saw the same type of Imperial droid.
Yeah.
But we didn't see K2SO. We just saw another version of it because another. Whatever number it is, another number of the same type of droid. But yeah, it's been a strange one. To me, I have to say, out of Star Wars this year, this has been my biggest disappointment, actually. Because even
I knew it'd be like this. I knew it.
Did you think?
Yeah, I did. I thought because I don't think his character's important enough.
So is this?
He works well in Rogue One.
Yeah,
you got his story in that. He was the guy who was fighting against the Rebel Alliance. I know what they're trying to do. What they should have done with this. This should have been the creation of the Rebel Alliance. This is what they should have done.
Well, I think that's what they're aiming for, isn't it? It's just
but
they've
gone
so
about it
slowly.
all wrong. Where he cannot be the bloody figurehead of that. He's an idiot. He's an idiot. He's all right. Maybe second season he's gonna be okay.
He's an
Right,
idiot. Okay.
Right. But he's an idiot. He was all over the place. 3 episodes in that prison. I was like, oh come on, man. You know, every episode. Sat there, and Andy Serkis like going, I've got 1,000 days left, and I'm like, you know. Then we got the big escape, and then they all ran at dawn. It were like, oh well, there's no ships to get off, and he said, I can't swim. yeah. Do you know what I mean? Then he goes running off again, and then he ends up in fucking desert and gets caught by aliens in net things.
Oh.
And then he runs off again.
Yeah.
And then he turns back up on planet. His mother's dead. She gives inspiring speech to rise up. Where's he? Hiding in a...
He was hiding in a room somewhere, wasn't he? It was like,
looking through a grill with a little monocle light. You know, and then we got the scene where Skelling's... I mean, everybody were there to kill him as well. Everybody. All them people. The Imperials went there to get him. Skellen. Skarsgård carried axes. He were there to kill him. Cyril, the idiot, and other idiot, they turned up to kill him. Oh, this man, all he did was kill 2 security guards.
This is actually the biggest question about why was everybody after Cassian for killing 2 dodgy security guards?
I don't know.
You know, and like this is like why? I mean, surely that can't be the only time that's ever happened on that forgettable planet, which was in episode 1. I didn't understand it.
And then we get a bit of Mon Mothma at the dinner party, and then we jump around to him running about everywhere, just running about everywhere, and then we go back to Cyril and his mother. Eating these bloody bran flakes or whatever.
You know, this episode is going to be called having hashtag Cyril the Idiot, by the way. I think
he is an idiot. He was an idiot. Look, there's a lot of this series I do like.
Yeah, I do.
But there's a big chunk of it. 12 episodes. You know, I watched it. You know, good God, I watched Wakanda Forever. I switched that off after an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. I have to ask you about that.
Is it bad? 3 hours long. I watched it. Well,
oh, all right, okay, because you're a Marvel fan.
I saw it online.
I thought you would have liked that.
Yeah. And I watched it, and it was like, oh God, when's this finishing?
Is it really that bad? Is it really long?
Yeah, 3 hours and some.
I will watch it eventually.
I mean, we're all right. I mean, you know, and then same.
You don't have much luck recently, have you? You haven't seen much that you really enjoyed.
And then 8 hours later, 9 o'clock Sunday night, made a cup of tea. I thought, this is it. I'm going for the big 2 episodes now. You know, and I sat there with my cup of tea, my coffee table, all relaxed in my Star Trek bathrobe, watching it, being very happy. And what did I get? I got Cyril with his fucking mother, right, and his idiot mate said, oh, we found him. He's running about everywhere.
Yeah, no.
And Deirdre, who I really fancied, the ISP chick, I looked into her Wikipedia.
Oh, did you? Did
gorgeous.
You? Yes.
Absolutely stunning. She's
okay. That's good. Yes.
And I thought she's amazing. I loved her character. And then suddenly, like, there's a rebellion on the planet. He's hiding away, running about. I don't know why Cyril's there. It's all because he wants to prove his innocence. But he can't prove his innocence because the security company covered it up. And he never gets to redeem himself. If he wants a career, sign up and be a stormtrooper. You won't be around long, Cyril.
No, you'll be around for 10 minutes, but then at least you'll have a dignified ending kind of thing.
Yeah, he'll go out like an idiot. I mean, obviously he'll go in a big silly explosion in an episode. I'll be jumping for joy, and his mother will be happy. I mean, this is what it was. There was all this, and then we finally got.
Do you know what? I really miss this with you, Martin. It's really good catching up with you.
Yeah, I know, but 2 hours of this, mate. Look, Obi-Wan had its moments of up and down, didn't it?
But it was there in the end. It
paid off.
Yeah,
it paid in that final episode when him and Vader went at it.
I think Kenobi, if anything, Kenobi now seems a lot better than it was before I saw this.
Bloody well does.
Really is.
That was 6 episodes, and it worked.
It did
but
work.
This, I felt like I've been watching this for 6 bloody months. It's just been going on, and then we jump back to Cyril and his mother when he's like that. You know what I mean? Do you know what is the point? And then there was a moment where he saves Deirdre, the ISB chick.
Yeah.
and there's like that thing where she's terrified, and he's there like being the hero, and it's like, is this thing gonna start off? Because is she gonna get him into ISB, and he's gonna become like a chief arse licker? Because I'll tell you something, you wouldn't want him where you work, because he'd be after your job. He would.
Yeah, but where's his character going to go? Because he's not interesting. I mean, I can't see what they're going to do with the season 2 with him. I mean, what can he become?
I don't know. I mean, even if he proved Cassian Andor destroyed his life, right? It's still, all that was his fault. He was told to leave it, and he still went ahead. And when they were doing that operation, I mean, that Stellan Skarsgård, I think he's a Jedi. He's something. He's trained. He's this guy's a warrior, you know, and a killer. But he took all them two, between them both, took out all them men. There were 12 of them. Took them all out, even him in spaceship. And they got away, and he got blamed for it all. But he would accept that all that were his fault. All that were his fault, and it was. Leave it alone. All this started with 2 pointless security guards on that planet who were both corrupt, and suddenly
that's what I didn't understand.
The greatest thing in the gal. Everybody's after him. The Empire,
that
the
was
rebels.
That was my biggest question mark about as it went on. I thought, why has this got such a big thing? I never understood that.
Right, I get it. Han Solo turns up on a rebel planet undercover. You get it. They're all going to be after him. Luke Skywalker. They're all going to be after some character.
Like that.
You know, do you know what they should have done? They should have called this series Trooper, right? And you had an Imperial Trooper, right? And he's dedicated to Empire believes in order and all this. And you get 6 episodes until episode 5, when this massacre happens with the Empire, and this guy
and then he changes. He goes over.
And then he gets blamed for this thing because they're covering it up, and he's got to prove his innocence. And through like season 2, he ends up by the end in the Rebel Alliance and becomes a very powerful leader. Build the character to that moment of when he becomes inspired. Now I think they tried to do that with him running about everywhere, but he's too busy to be running about to become inspired. But he should have had that moment on that planet, like after his mother. I suppose his mother's speech does inspire, but he was the one that was meant to do
But it should have been him. Why was it his? I don't know.
This is what I mean. And then we jump to another scene where he's at home with his mother. You know, with fucking conflict. I'm sorry, man. What was the point of all that?
I know.
And I'll tell you something. I mean, they all live bloody miserably on other places. 6 signs at TV they had.
Oh, I know. It's like it's 70s designs that they have, and they Well, I'm going to pause at this point because we've got the usual Zoom limit coming. So I'm going to come back to you in a minute. We'll just finish off this conversation because, like I said, hashtag Still the Idiot is really cool. So we'll be right back.
Right.
Okay, so we're back. Sorry about that. So Martin, anything else you want to say about Andor season 1? So as to what it is.
Well, I'm going to have to sit and suffer season 2, aren't I? Because if we don't watch season 2, we can't do this.
Oh, so you're going to be ever faithful for the podcast, and you're going to review it for the show?
Yeah, season 2.
That's good. This is. Oh, well, it won't be for probably. I think it might not be out until 2024. It's quite a long time away, apparently.
Well, what? Why is it 2024?
Yeah, I think so.
We got to wait for 2 years for a bloody sequel. Cyril and his mother.
Look, I have to say, I'm really glad because, not glad, but I'm glad you felt similar to me because, like I said, the Star Wars fandom, a lot of people have really loved this. And I can see what they're trying to do is they're trying to give Star Wars a sort of different dynamic in respect to this series. They've got some of the series which are going to be more based on the fantasy element, some based more on for younger audiences. This is supposed to be, quote, the mature Star Wars series. It's supposed to be for an older dynamic.
Well, then explain, Cyril.
I suppose they're just trying to make it as if it's a real world kind of. I don't know.
Would you want a friend like him?
No. Mind you, I've done a few serials like that in my
Yeah,
time.
I have. Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Ah, yeah.
You know, we've all known a few serials, haven't we?
Yeah,
So I mean,
true.
it's
True, yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I this has been the strangest, most surreal Star Wars production I've ever seen. Talk about live action. But I don't hate it either. I just don't think of it as Star Wars.
I will say it's. I think it's created the it's created a reaction, hasn't it? How people have reacted to it. You know, but for me, look, 50% of it was okay.
Okay.
50%, and then the other 50, I have to agree with you. I mean, half of it was just all over the place.
Yeah, it was.
And I thought the one redeeming quality would have been episode 12. You'd have got the cliffhanger.
I thought it was gonna go out in sort of like in a big kind of like, this is it.
At an Obi-Wan sort of level. We didn't get that, and then we did get the
got the Death Star. The last.
That
was the biggest thing.
But what we meant to. I mean, I remember I saw ending credits, and I was like.
Everybody knew what it was.
You saw the metal thing they were building.
Oh no, it looked like solar panels.
Then they pulled out.
Yeah.
And I just thought, yeah, it's the Death Star, big deal. Like, what do you want me to do? It gets wiped out. And,
yeah.
And there is the problem here, because I think it took them 20 years to build the first Death Star.
Well, this would be set.
I think it's gone. So how far is Rogue One along?
I think it's about about 5 years before. No, it's about. I know what it is. It's about 5 years before the end of Rogue One, where we see Leia at the last scene.
Right, fair enough then.
So it's about 5 years.
I wondered because it looks a bit complete, and I thought for him to establish himself to become the great rebel leader is going to take a couple of years.
From what I understand, this year it's supposed to be the whole show is supposed to be 5 years, well, between 5 years before Rogue One, and this season was supposed to be the first year. And from what I understand, seasons 2 will be years 2, 3, 4. It'll be the 4 years condensed into that season. And then it will join up to Rogue One at the end of
but they're only doing 2 seasons.
That's right. That's right.
Well, that's good though, as long as they don't decide to do any more. I mean, look, the second season could be marvellous. He could be out there kicking ass all over the galaxy, and you think this guy I like.
Can we increase the action element a bit, please, as well? Can we have less talking? And do you know how many episodes did they walking around talking about things, and then that's all they were doing? Like, we're going to attack this base. We're gonna, they're walking around, and then nothing happened, and it was like it would fade out, and then the next episode would be more talking about it. And they had 3 episode clumps. It was like 3 episodes in about 3. It was 3 episodes of each sort of like mini arc, and then the last 3 episodes it was 1 standalone and then 2 at the end. I don't know. I just. I
think you could have done this with Stellan Skarsgård's character Access, just with him, and he's going around.
Do you think he should be more the focus? Maybe he should be more the focus.
I think they should have just forgotten Andor, just drop him.
Yeah.
And I think Stellan Skarsgård could have been the.
He's a very strong character. He's a strong character.
People and potential leaders from other worlds to build this alliance, and the ISB's on his trail.
Yeah,
I mean, we could even put Cyril in it, I suppose. But I mean, I'm sorry, man, but you know, honestly, his whole entire character just annoyed me.
Yeah, I know.
But I thought it could have been. He said, "I'd like to see the creation of the Rebel Alliance from the money it's backing it." So the support.
Well, isn't that what we're going to be? Isn't that what we're supposed to be getting in this series? Isn't that what it's all about?
That's what I thought. But I mean, we got him running about. We got Cyril being berated by his mother. Mon Mothma, I don't know. She was just being.
I thought she was a bit wasted. I thought she was wasted.
Yeah,
she was walking around in fancy Oh, she's just going to fancy dinner parties and don't give a shit about that. Run it out.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you've got a husband who's got insecurity issues, you know.
And he's a gambling problem or something.
Yeah, and he thinks he's at it with the banker dude. But then they brought in the gangster banker dude who wants his daughter to marry, his son to marry her.
Yeah.
And I'm sat there thinking, what's all this got to do with
I know.
Why are we getting into all this?
A lot of this stuff had this kind of really inconsequential filler material going nowhere, not really, from what I could see so far, having any particular aspect on the show itself.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, well, what's the point? And you obviously thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, the daughter marrying the son thing. Well, what's that got to do with anything? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, what's Cyril and his mother got to do with it? I mean, this is where it all starts falling. Do you know what it's like? This series, it's like if you've got a solid bowl, right, and there's water leaking out of one half of it, but it's staying in the other half, and you're trying to plug it up. Do you know what I mean? We've reviewed 122
shows and films,
and we've covered some bad ones.
Yeah, I know.
We have. We've done stuff people won't even dare watch. Right? It's that bad. But this, I'm sorry, but it's like I just get a knife and cut half of it away.
What if Cyril turns out to be
away?
Cyril turns out to be Palpatine's son or something? What if there's some huge revelation in season 2 where he's going to be I don't know, he's going to have a huge meta-chlorian count or something, and he'll be able to crush planets?
Cyril?
Yeah. No, it's not going to happen, is it?
No. And if it did happen, he'd probably end up killing himself and everybody. I think he'll kill. Yeah, I wonder if he'll kill his mother in second season.
Oh.
Well, you saying you don't know. I mean, she was horrible, wasn't she? I mean, did you see what she was saying?
Yeah, she was miserable, wasn't she?
I mean, she was horrible. And I'm sat there.
But what's the point of her character? Why did we see the mother?
This is why I'm asking you, because
no, I'm asking a question with a question.
I can't answer, because one minute we've got him running about everywhere doing his thing, like being a great rebel leader, but he's a fucking idiot, right? Running around everywhere. Then you've got the super sexy ISB officer that suddenly is being stalked by Cyril, the pointless security guard.
She's aware of.
Fucks an operation up over 2 security guards that serve no purpose.
No, which is the whole basis of the series, yeah.
Created this whole situation where the entire empire wants to kill Cassian Andor, catch him, and then the Rebel Alliance turns up to kill him, and then Cyril and the other idiot turn up to kill him, and then he's back at home with his mother, and then there's Mon Mothma, and we're getting into this thing of her daughter marrying banker gangster's son, so she can fiddle money.
What was the point? Yeah, is it because of financial?
I don't know, because in canon, Mon Mothma is ruthless.
Well, she was
and
in
she
Rogue
does a
One.
runner. She does a runner from the Senate because Palpatine's coming.
What was
for
she
her.
doing? I can't remember what she was like in Rogue One. I know she was in Rogue One, but I can't remember what she did much in it.
If you go into I suppose like an expanded universe,
that's the expanding thing.
Yeah. But that's years of established character.
Her
character she's ruthless, right?
Well, she's not ruthless in this.
No, well, she's still in the political sort of thing. She's covering. She's how do you say? She's doing her bit, but then
in
she's
the background,
acting like a senator. Yeah. But the thing is, she gets exposed, and Palpatine, he's wanting to knock her off the ears because that's when he gets rid of Imperial Senate. Now
that's the end of the Imperial. Yeah, exactly. I know about that.
And she does the runner. She has to escape because
that's when she becomes. She goes to Yavin or whatever it is.
And she's like the rebel leader. And Bail Organa, but he got it on Alderaan, didn't he? They were the ones that set this up, and somebody else. But in this, I cannot accept that Cassian Andor is like this great unifying rebel force that's going to bring them all together.
No, I agree entirely. I mean, he's kind of just
Stellan
there.
Definitely.
His
character.
Yeah.
I'd
like to see Bail Organa as well because he was in Kenobi.
Yeah, well, I thought we'd see him this series.
Yeah, but the thing is also, it's like this was filmed in the UK, whereas Obi-Wan was filmed in the States. And now, mind you, it's not normally a big deal, is it, just to get an actor to fly over and do some scenes? They can easily do that.
Jimmy Smits is a massive Star Wars fan who plays his character. I mean, he lives and breathes Star Wars.
Yeah. I didn't know he was big. I didn't know that, actually.
He's massive.
Okay.
But he'd come. It's like Samuel L. Jackson. He's a massive Star Wars fan.
Which is why he was in the prequels, because he was a huge Star Wars fan. That's why they got him.
But I think the writing for this, there's one half of it that's decent, and then the other half is absolutely terrible. It's like pulling a thread out of somebody's, and the half of the house collapses. And
it's like a termite Star Wars or something. It's like it's kind of like it's I mean, the one thing this offers you is an amazing view into that universe, but like I said, it's the way it's done. It's the way it's done that's wrong as well. I mean, I agree that if it had been done rather, not even see the Imperial aspect until episode 4. It was just Cyril and Andor shooting a guy and hiding, kind of thing. So I suppose we better sum up then with a rating out of 10. So season 1 of Andor. Let's ask you first of all, out of 10, what will you give it?
Right, I'm going to give it a 5 because it's. I'd like to really go below 5, but I can't because it's half of it I really thoroughly enjoyed on the reason that I got to see more of that universe and how normal people live in it, and how the Imperial machine works. With different organisations within it, all that, and the setting up of the Rebel Alliance and certain characters, absolutely adored. Very good. And then we got
Cyril,
the Cyril, and the other, him running about everywhere, and all the chaos that came with it, and
all the filler,
even that robot. I wanted to boat it down.
What, the one that goes do, the one, the stuttering robot?
That just got on the bloody nerves, that thing. It did. You know, another toy they're going to sell us all.
Yeah, we had, was it Luca, the one from, what's the name? Leia's toy from it's all merchandising, isn't it?
Well, that's why that robot.
Of course it was.
That'll just happen to appear in shops by Christmas.
Oh, I bet it will be, and it'll probably be. You know.
And I won't be buying the action figure of bloody Cyril either. Because he's going to get a fucking action figure. I'm telling him and his mother are going to get an action figure.
You could have it like sitting on your monitor, couldn't you? Kind of thing. Cyril and Cyril's mum. Well, I think I'm going to agree entirely with you. I think I'll give it 5 out of 10 as well. Right down the middle. It's got some really good elements. It's got a lot of really bad elements. I'm going to be generous because of the pacing. I would even consider dropping it down to 4, but I'm going to be kind and I'm going to give it because the pacing was so stretched out. Whereas I know it should be. Well, no, you can't compare it to another Star Wars series. The Mandalorian. One of the problems with those episodes were some of them were way too short, but they were. The action packed. They were.
Yeah, but it weren't. I mean, but it was like Book of Boba Fett, wasn't it? I mean, all he did was walk around in a nappy going, "Hi, I'm Boba Fett," right? And that's all he did every episode, right?
I still like Boba Fett.
Yeah, I did like. Yeah, well, I did like Boba Fett.
Yeah.
But the best episodes in it
were the Mandalorian episodes.
Luke bloody Skywalker.
Well, yeah, but they were done so good. They were so good.
He wanted it for 2 episodes, and then he came right.
That was the thing. That's. Yeah, this is what it was more like Mandalorian.
This was his show. This was about him, not about the Mando.
No.
So what next in Boba Fett 2? We're going to get Cyril.
Well, are we getting a Boba Fett 2? I mean, I don't know Boba Fett 2. I don't know.
Well, is Cyril and his mother going to turn up in Boba Fett 2?
Well, he'd be older. Cyril would be he'd probably be in middle age by then, wouldn't he? He'd be older.
Well, he's probably. Oh God, yeah.
The mum would probably be dead though. At least we got that.
No,
unless she comes back as a Jedi,
back as a robot or something, you know.
What if she comes back as a Force ghost or something? Cyril, I'm back.
Oh God, and nobody can see her, and he keeps telling her off. Will you leave me alone?
With the globe around it, like I can see it. Oh God. Well, okay. Thank you, Marty, for reviewing that. Definitely the most surreal Star Wars series I've ever seen.
I agree.
And I am, for the most part, I'm pretty disappointed. I have to say, I'm so sorry. it just wasn't there. At that point, we have got a bit of sci-fi news because quite a few things have happened. So we'll talk about some of the basics. So let's go into the jingle. Here we go.
Working.
Solar sci-fi
News.
All right, so quite a few things. Well, some things. One of the biggest things I've heard about is that since we were last on, I think that was still relatively recently, that we talked about the fact that Disney Plus now are getting involved with the production of Doctor Who. So much to the point now where Russell T Davies has actually just announced, or if he didn't announce, then somebody, one of the makers, have said that there's potentially going to be a new spin-off series of Doctor Who based on some of the foes, i.e. the Daleks and the Cybermen, some kind of story involving them. I take it you've heard about this yourself, Martin. What do you think about this? So what do you think?
It's sort of. I watched a couple of reviews on it. Some fan base are not happy about this.
Really?
Yeah.
So why are they not happy? Do you think because it's not necessary, or?
Yeah, because
the Disney factor. The Disney factor.
Yeah, it's not the franchise. It's the Disney factor.
So let me ask you: do you think that potentially could have a big long-term influence on?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And not necessarily a good influence. It's that what you're potentially saying?
From a marketing point of view, it's a stroke of genius for BBC. They probably don't have to risk their own money.
Well, no, because a lot more money is going to be pumped into.
You've got Sony are involved, and Disney.
Yeah.
And now, like you just said, they're looking at potential spin-offs with like a Dalek series, but you're not going to be able to watch them.
Well, you mean
you'll probably watch the flagship show on BBC, but if there's anything extra,
it could well
you'll
be.
have to
That's
pay
a good
for it
point.
on Disney Plus.
That's a good point, actually, because the BBC have
they're
the
not
rights.
going to just take it for nothing. This is about making money, and they could take. I've always believed that Doctor Who is up there. It's never had. I know it's had 2 movies back in the 60s, but I've always believed that if the money's put in and the writing is put in, you could take Doctor Who to the cinema in a big way.
We've talked about that before, and
it could rake in as much money as a big like a Star Trek franchise. Definitely.
And at points in the past, they've actually talked about, people have been saying, look, they might have a season off just to focus on one big motion picture.
That's what I mean.
Which, like the X-Files did that, didn't they?
They did, and it works. It did work. I mean,
they could have done that. They could have done that. Yeah. So it makes you wonder. I mean, from what I understand, I'm not disputing what you're saying, is that with Disney Plus or whatever it is, they will have the rights to distribute Doctor Who everywhere outside of the UK. So UK, the BBC will still have the prominent factor of it'll be first shown on the BBC on the main sort of.
Well, the
TV.
Flagship show will be.
But you're right. I don't know. That's what I was going to say. I do not know.
No, they won't, because Disney are not going to take this on. All right, they're putting it on their network, right? Disney Plus. People are paying £8 a month to watch that. That's why they're constantly churning out Willow, the TV series, and all this other stuff. I mean, there's about 15 Marvel series on the way, and then there's all the Disney presentations with the Disney princess stuff and all these things.
All the Disney characters, exactly.
Disney characters. So if they're going to take on Doctor Who now with Disney, they will expand upon that universe. But they're going to get control. They will get a big control and a big say in this.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because they're putting the money in. And if there's any potential spin-offs, you're not going to be sat watching them on a Saturday night on BBC.
So,
you're going to have to pay for it.
We've been quite negative about how the future Doctor Who does look a bit iffy. So, can you see this as
Doctor
more of
Who? When Doctor Who with Tennant and when Doctor Who came back and Tennant took over and Smith, the merchandising for that
shot
time
through the roof.
The merchandising was on a scale.
It was huge.
The replica market, the adult collectibles, the action figures. I've never seen. It was at such a level, and then when she became the Doctor, and I'm not blaming her.
It did plummet.
It plummeted big time.
Absolutely.
You know, it really did. So now, if Disney are going to be eyeing all this up and thinking we can make several £billion out of this, I just think if the BBC had have had more faith, got the right people in, and put more money into it, they could have made a lot of money out of this.
Yeah, I can see.
And it would have paid for itself, but we'll have to see what happens. You know, I was impressed with the power of the Doctor, and
me too. I loved it, and you did as well.
I was blown away by it, and it was great seeing Tennant at the end. I mean, personally, I'd rather have full 20 episodes of David Tennant running.
Well, I think we both feel. I mean, I'm really glad we've got 3 specials. Apparently, they're all going to be condensed into November next year, which is a shame.
I think that's it. They should have done is put one out this Christmas.
And then one in Easter, and then one for the anniversary.
Then we get into the sale. Leaving it for a year in a cupboard.
It's too long because it goes stale. It loses momentum. It loses the momentum as well, which they've done before, and it's really damaged the whole franchise. So, but with the new guy, and of course there's a new character now, because I thought it was going to be this trans character, but apparently she, him, them, whatever the correct politically term is, will be only in the 3 specials. And there's a new female character called Ruby Sunday.
Yeah, I've seen her. She's
in. I've not seen her in anything, but I don't know much about her.
She was in Color. I don't watch it. I saw the. She'll be interviewed. Apparently, she used to be in Coronation Street.
Right. She's very young. She's only 18 apparently, but that's fine. That doesn't matter. So I don't know much about her. It looks like she strikes me as another potential Rose Tyler sort of character, like Davis.
I'm not going to say anything bad about this new Doctor.
No, I'm not either.
I've not seen him. When I see him, that's
Yeah. But like I said, let's just see how it comes, because if Disney are involved, it might slightly change how they want to do it. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a year. Well, it won't be till. I hope that when the new Doctor comes along, the 15th Doctor now, because we've got David Tennant as the 14th, I assume that he will start on. Are they going to try and get the Christmas Day slot back for Doctor Who? Because that was always a good thing.
Yeah, well, it don't work New Year's.
New Year's is just not the same. So I hope
Christmas Day, it's a family moment. You're all together watching it.
I've had many Christmas days, especially with my family or my in-laws. We go to see them quite often on Christmas Day, and that's all in the background, and people do watch it. And it was especially back in the Tennant sort of Matt Smith era.
Yeah, definitely.
And there was something special about Doctor Who. They made some really good Christmas episodes, so I'd like to see that return at some point. That'd be really good. You say
the other annoying thing, nobody's going to better kick a coffee table over this year. I was waiting to kick my coffee table up in the air with the rest of the country.
Well, it's nothing, because we haven't even got a New Year special. We've got nothing this Christmas at all.
Oh no, and it's amazing. Jodie Whittaker, she's a great actress. That episode redeemed
me too. I am actually, I have to say this, and I hate to admit this, but I've actually seen her era quite differently now since that last episode. It's actually really, to me, it's helped to solidify the whole era a bit, which is strange.
It's probably,
but it's helped to think, well, she wasn't that bad.
Payoff, wasn't there? There was a payoff. You see again where Andor missed out. Even with 3 years of atrocious stories in Doctor Who.
But they might do that at the end of season 2
But there was
of
a
Andor.
payoff.
What if we could get the payoff at the end of season 2 of Andor, and then we look back on Andor season 1 and think, actually, it wasn't as bad as all that.
That's true. That's
exactly the same as what you just said with the Jodie Whittaker.
It were like Obi-Wan, wasn't it? You sat through that, and some episodes were absolutely awful, and then we got the big payoff, but it paid off, so it justified the less developed episodes. Then you get the picture that this is where
Obi-Wan I'm fine with. I like Obi-Wan. I think that's I'm really glad I made it.
I've watched it again.
Yeah, I have too, and I've really enjoyed it the second time round. Again, because how it's building up to. So that's it for Doctor Who. Go on.
Star Trek Discovery rated R this next series.
I've not heard that. Oh, okay.
That's what I read. Yeah.
Wait, that must be a new one. Well, I think I like Discovery slightly more than you do, but I'm not a big fan either. It's definitely the weakest of the live-action Star Trek series I've seen. I know they finished production of season 5, and so I'm assuming that they're going to have a season 6. I don't mind. Like I said, it's a very strange series, really. And I was thinking about this just before we actually started recording, how the first 2 seasons were actually the strongest, especially season 2, I think.
Oh yeah, still stand out.
So, but I'm open to it. Let's see.
What about Picard season 3? Yeah, you're
looking good, because apparently
Yeah,
I read the other day that it's going to have some links to DS9 and Voyager. I think when it says links, I think it will be following up the post Dominion story arc.
I hope
maybe.
so. I hope so.
Because in the end, all 3 series were running at the same time: TNG, DS9, and Voyager. So it is a sequel to all of those. But I'm not. I know I said this before, but I really think that they're going to get it right with season 3 of Picard, because the guy,
I think there's going to be payoff.
the guy that did episode 1 and episode 12 of Picard, he's the one he's doing season 3, and the other guy that did all the filler time travel stuff, which is too padded out again, he's not involved. So I've got a feeling it's going to work. I just do.
I've got a feeling season 3 we're going to.
I think season 3 is going to be what we should have had in the first place. Not forget season 1 and 2, and then Picard. It might well be in the future that Picard will only be remembered for season 3 and Picard episode 1 and season 1 and 2. Yeah,
because it is such a shame, because like season 2 of Picard, the first couple of episodes were absolutely amazing.
Exactly.
And then it just went down the shitter after that, and
yeah,
such a shame.
Yeah, absolutely.
And turning out Bob lovey-dovey and all that, and it was just ridiculous. Well, like and but of course, the greatest Star Trek series, I suppose, of this generation,
Strange New Worlds.
Strange New Worlds. Oh, Pikey and his amazing hairstyle.
They're going to have a crossover with Lower Decks, which I'm not that bothered about, but I certainly will be interesting, because I'm not.
Will that be animated, this crossover?
No. Well,
it's live action.
They're going to be, the actors are going to be made to look live action, apparently. So, yeah. I don't get me wrong. I think that for what I've heard, Lower Decks. I've seen Lower Decks season 1 and 2. It was fine, but it's just a.
I've not seen Prodigy yet.
I've seen the first few. It was all right, but it's obviously mainly focused for a young audience. So
yeah.
What else is coming up? Are you going to watch the new Avatar movie when it comes out soon? Are you not bothered about it, or what?
God.
Okay, I think you've answered my question for me, haven't you?
Are you really like stoked for that then? Are you really?
I wouldn't say I'm interested. I like the first one. I mean, I wouldn't mind.
I went to see it first, and with my 3D goggles, what I got in the cinema.
I felt sick when I watched it with 3D glasses. I did watch it.
And I went and I watched it, and I have to say it defines special effects at a level. They've surpassed it now, but at the time it showed you what they could do. Cameron had really mastered that area again. He's very good at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I was absolutely bored shitless during the film story.
I thought it was pretty good myself.
Well, there was nothing special about it.
Yeah.
But it was a special effects masterpiece, and for
it's
that,
a visual masterpiece.
Yeah, I respect it. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Okay. I don't think I'll go and see it, but I'm interested to see how it goes down. I'll wait until it's released on digital next year or something. It probably won't be. These films will be out like a month or two after they're out in the cinema, so I'll wait till then.
Yeah.
Anything else coming up that you want to focus
Star
on?
Wars Acolyte about Palpatine.
That's the start of production, I think. Acolyte.
I think that about Palpatine.
But no, but it's 100 years set before.
Right.
So I don't think it is. I think it features. I think it's about the Sith taking over, or asserting themselves with the Jedi. But it's a period in Star Wars we've not seen much before. So I don't know. I'm interested.
It could be about the ruler too, where it's just two like taking on a new apprentice.
But I'm cautious of, again, going back to Andor, I'm cautious about what they're going to do. Is it going to be another...
But I say something about two Sith Lords hiding out amongst the population of the galaxy.
It could be really good.
Well, it could be good. I'm open. I'll give it a shot.
But please don't be like 12 episodes and they're just planning to do something and then nothing happens. Please. Oh my God.
No, I can't sit through 12
What else is there? There's some other live action. We got.
Well, what's the guy called? Side Trek. Apparently, Stargate. The
oh, that's all gone wrong, isn't it? The
apparently, well, they're on about just rebooting it all now.
yeah, because I can't
Why?
think of his
Why
name.
not just
No,
build on it?
the guy that's I can't think of his name. The executive producer. I can't remember his name. He
I
was
forgot
really
his name,
pushing.
yeah, him.
No, it's not David. I can't remember his name. He was really pushing for a sequel series, and recently he says it's fizzled out. He says it's not going to happen, and so we've been talking for ages about how Amazon have got a real dynamite franchise to really kickstart and get going again. If it's going to be a reboot, I'm going to be bitterly disappointed after.
Yeah, because how's it going to be any different?
Well, unless they have different actors or different looking Stargate
yeah, but
or
it's going to
something.
be what? So we're going to get Daniel Jackson opening the Stargate again?
Well, it might be like the Star Trek 2009 or something. They might try and go that route, although that was clever because that's an alternative timeline. I don't know. Maybe they just. I don't know. That someone's not really. It's not sort of igniting the interest of Amazon, which is surprising.
I
because
can't understand that. They're sat on a
it's
multi-billion-dollar
such a big
franchise.
series. It's such a big franchise,
And it's big enough to go. I mean, it's big enough to have movies at the cinema.
you and I would both go if it was at the cinema.
Yeah, I would.
I'd go straight down there.
Say Stargate says.
I'd love Stargate. Stargate is one of the best sci-fi franchises I've ever seen.
It still is.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, my top are Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, and
Yep.
Stargate. They're my top four, I think. There's some others great ones, but they're the four which I really would say that they're the top kind of thing. What are your top ones, just out of interest?
Same as yours, and then I had UFO.
Oh, fair. Yeah, like the Jerry Anderson. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough.
And Blake 7.
Yeah, Blake. Which I was thinking about that as well. I've got to see that, and we've got to review that. But I was thinking we could review that, but I don't remember the episodes that well. So, but we could do that at some point. But we can either do that with you taking control based on your experience of it.
No, you should watch it. You should
I
watch it.
will. I've got all the episodes. I'm ready to go. I just haven't had the time to do it.
Have we done Voice to the Bottom of the Sea, the TV series? Because I'd like to do that.
Again, that's the.
You don't need to watch all that because it's so batshit bonkers crazy.
I've got an idea. I tell you what I could do. I've got an idea. How
What
about
about Irwin Allen's?
Next week.
Time Tunnel and all that.
Done time tunnel. We've done time tunnel.
Oh,
Next week is this time next week. When I record it, I'll be 50. It's my 50th birthday next week, so I'm feeling very emotional. So I don't know why I mentioned that actually. So what about next week? If I'll give you a task. You tell me 5 episodes of Voyage of the Bottom of the Sea to watch. I'll watch them between now and next week, and then we'll review it.
Well, I could give you one. I'll give you 2 that are insane: the Leprechaun and the Lobsterman. They're fucking bad, mate. They're fucking. And then I'll leave the rest to you.
No, I need you to show me the ones to see.
Oh God, for God's sake!
The Leprechaun and the Lobstermen. So I tell you what, when you seriously, this is the only thing I'd ask of you.
Really, can't you just choose 3 of them?
Oh, well, I tell you what. All right, I'll look.
No, because I think now. All right, I've chosen you 2, right? And they're the worst episodes.
Leprechaun and the Lobsterman. Right? All right.
Yeah, but there's like
choose some good ones as well.
Season 1 is very serious. It's like, but it turned batshit crazy in season 2. It's really strange.
How many seasons were
there? There is one episode in season 1 with Robert Duvall.
Okay, well, I will insert the database.
To find this abandoned city under ocean, and there was another race before mankind, and they find a survivor, and all his people are in this deep sleep, and they're more advanced than us, but they got wiped out billions of years ago, and he wants to wipe out the human race, and it's really good because, like, moral question, really good writing.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Robert Duvall's in that, but if you want, there's the time travel one where the villain's called Ott, official time traveler.
Okay.
And
okay.
He wears the silver
I will
suit.
look out. I'll look out for those episodes, and I will do 5
random episodes.
And then you could give me some information. I mean, I don't mind about spoilers. And stuff,
the one I'd go for, it's going to do your head in, is the Lobsterman.
King of the Lobsterman. Okay. All right. That'd be fun. Well, Martin, thank you for that. It's been really good catching up with you. We'll do that next week. what I'm going to finish off with this week, I'm going to play it on the audio as well, but it might not transfer. But even so, I found this late 70s, early 80s sort of retro TV titles version of Andor. It's really cheesy. It's supposed to be cheesy, but it's just like if Andor would have been made in like 1980 or something. It's just quite funny to watch. So we'll watch that. So Martin, it's nice to have you back. And we'll be back next week with episode 123, which is incredible.
Yes.
Of the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. Martin, thank you very much.
Live long and prosper.
Before there was hope in the galaxy, there was Andor. As a ruthless empire tightens its grip, one man, chosen by happenstance, will rise up to become a leader of a revolution. He is a new kind of hero for a new age. His name is Andor.